This is one of the most dangerous weather weeks the United States has seen in years. Across the country, multiple storm systems are colliding at once, bringing tornadoes, blizzards, flash flooding, and violent winds to millions of Americans simultaneously. In Lake Village, Indiana, authorities identified Ed and Arlene Kozlowski as the two victims killed when a tornado struck on March 10, 2026. Edward was 89 years old and Arlene was 84. The couple, who had been married for over 60 years, were found behind what remained of their home. They were just days away from Edward's 90th birthday. A National Weather Service damage survey confirmed the tornado reached EF3 intensity, producing winds of around 150 miles per hour and tracking approximately 37 miles across the region. The destruction it left behind was total. Entire blocks were leveled in Aroma Park, Illinois. At least 70 utility poles were knocked down and many roads were rendered impassable. At least 5 people were reported dead across Indiana after severe storms triggered flooding and a destructive tornado between March 8th and 10th. 3 others died in separate flooding incidents across southern Indiana during the same stretch. Communities that are still cleaning up may face another round of severe weather this weekend. The outbreak also produced hail now being investigated for record status in Illinois. Storm chasers reported hailstones larger than 5 inches, including a 6.4-inch stone in Kankakee that could become a new state record. The current Illinois record, set in 2015, stands at 4.75 inches in diameter. Severe weather extended across more than a dozen states, with nearly 200 filtered reports spanning more than 2,500 miles from Texas to Michigan. At least 17 tornadoes were confirmed across 6 states during the outbreak. Multiple cities across the country are now under separate weather emergencies at the same time. Atlanta for tornadoes, Charlotte for flash flooding, Boston under a snow warning, Washington, D.C. for severe thunderstorms, and Buffalo under a blizzard. The first of 2 major storm systems is already making its presence felt. The low-pressure center has deepened below 985 millibars and is compact and fast-moving. Wind gusts above 70 miles per hour are being recorded across Minnesota and Iowa, with the system now pushing through northern Illinois, Wisconsin, Indiana, Ohio, and Michigan. These winds are bringing down trees, scattering debris, and cutting power to hundreds of thousands of homes. Winter storm warnings have been issued from the Rocky Mountains to the upper Midwest and parts of the Northeast, with heavy snow, strong winds, and mixed precipitation forecasts through March 14th. In the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, snowfall totals are already ranging from 5 to 10 inches. Northern Lower Michigan has recorded between 9 and 12 inches. Duluth has received around 10 inches, and International Falls just under 9.5. The bigger issue is not the snow totals alone. It is the 30 to 50 mile per hour winds blowing that snow sideways, creating near zero visibility on major roads. Interstate 80 through Wyoming is shut down due to extreme blowover risk, with gusts above 60 miles per hour. Interstate 94 through North Dakota has near zero visibility with multiple sections fully closed. For drivers in the affected regions, travel is not just difficult. De stanzabein dat sto. In Paidedo. Bidonsbein an. Bisdamber by places, it is simply not possible. While the Midwest deals with blizzard conditions, the South is facing a separate and dangerous severe weather setup. Golf ball-sized hail has been reported on the ground across Alabama, Georgia, and South Carolina. Active tornado warnings remain in place across 3 states. Flash flood risks are elevated from Georgia through North Carolina and into Virginia, with 2 to 4 inches of rain expected to fall in just a few hours in some locations. Birmingham has active tornado and severe storm warnings in effect. Charlotte is under flash flood and severe thunderstorm alerts. Atlanta sits at the center of a tornado and severe storm threat. The Storm Prediction Center has issued a 15% risk area stretching from the Ark-La-Tex region through Memphis, Shreveport, Little Rock, and southeastern Missouri. Forecasters are describing this setup as potentially more strongly forced than the outbreak earlier in the week that produced the EF3 tornado and hundreds of storm reports. The most dangerous window for the South is after dark Sunday night, particularly around Memphis and western Tennessee. Storms are expected to begin across East Texas and Louisiana in the late morning, with a squall line forming from Dallas through Shreveport and Little Rock by early afternoon. That system then tracks toward western Tennessee and Kentucky before continuing through what meteorologists call Dixie Alley and parts of the Ohio Valley overnight. The second storm system has not yet arrived, and it is forecast to be significantly more powerful than the first. Storm 2 is expected to develop late Saturday night from Montana and the Rockies. By Sunday morning, it is forecast to rapidly intensify, tracking toward the Central Plains before consolidating near Kansas City. Forecasters are projecting a central pressure of around 973 millibars, with some computer models suggesting it could reach the upper 960s. For a land-based system, that is an extraordinarily low-pressure reading. A slow-moving low of that strength over the interior United States could produce snowfall rates of 1 to 2 inches per hour, with winds reaching 40 to 60 miles per hour simultaneously. Blizzard conditions are forecast from Sunday afternoon into Monday across parts of Wisconsin and Michigan. Forecast snowfall totals from the combined storms are alarming. Green Bay could see up to 35 inches. Sheboygan is forecast for around 30 inches. Milwaukee could receive up to 20 inches. National Weather Service blended models are projecting 1 to 3 feet of snow across Wisconsin and Michigan broadly. Grand Rapids and Traverse City could see over a foot from Storm 2 alone. Minneapolis may receive an additional 8 to 12 inches on top of what has already fallen. Duluth's combined total could exceed 18 inches. Between Chicago and Madison, a narrow transition zone stretching into central Michigan may experience something potentially more damaging than snow: freezing rain. A quarter-inch or more of ice coating roads and power lines in this corridor could glaze surfaces and bring down already stressed infrastructure. So, Monday shifts the severe weather threat to the East Coast. A 15% severe weather risk area includes Raleigh, Charlotte, Washington, D.C., and Baltimore, with wind gusts potentially reaching 70 to 75 miles per hour along the advancing cold front. After the storms clear, a blast of Arctic air will sweep south behind the systems. Wind chills are expected to reach minus 20 degrees Fahrenheit in Minneapolis and Des Moines, with similar readings near Chicago. Wisconsin and Michigan could see wind chills of minus 10 to minus 15. By Tuesday morning, parts of Ontario, Canada may experience minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit wind chill, conditions capable of causing frostbite in less than 20 minutes. The temperature contrast this week across the United States is, honestly, extraordinary. While the northern plains and Great Lakes brace for historic cold, a strong ridge of high pressure is building across the western United States. Southern California and Arizona could see temperatures climb into the 90s by mid-March. Some areas may approach 100 to 103 degrees Fahrenheit. That pattern is expected to intensify drought conditions across the Southwest. At the same time, blizzards are, burying the Midwest. The severe weather is not confined to the continental United States. A powerful Kona low northwest of Hawaii is producing a prolonged severe weather pattern across the islands, with flash flooding, damaging winds, and strong thunderstorms forecast through the weekend. Hawaii's governor has issued emergency proclamations ahead of the storm. The United States is facing one of the most complex and dangerous multi-storm events in recent memory. Residents across the affected regions are urged to follow guidance from local officials, monitor National Weather Service alerts, and avoid travel when conditions deteriorate. The situation is evolving rapidly.